What is good, YouTube, and welcome back to a brand new video. And we are back, and today we're back to my roots, a realistic rebuild, something we haven't done in a little bit. We're doing it because obviously feels just right to do a Celtics realistic rebuild based off things that have happened this season for them, what happened last night, and it just feels like the right time to do one. Before we get in this video though, guys, if you could leave a like and of course subscribe to this YouTube channel if you have not already, it's always greatly appreciated. It helps out the channel, especially at times like this when, you know, the news is a little slow. Rebuilds are a little slow right now, so you know, a like rating would be greatly appreciated. And of course, I also have a Madden rebuild channel that I've been grinding on every day, so I've been uploading there every day. I've been uploading here every day, so your guys' support is greatly appreciated. So the Boston Celtics, I mean, they've just been a team that's, I don't know, they're just disappointing in a way, just like the Blazers in my own right, where I'm a Blazers fan. We've been disappointing. Obviously the injuries haven't helped. The Celtics, they've been blowing some leads. Injuries probably haven't helped them either. It's just been a very up and down season for the Celtics. Now it's not totally too far gone yet. They're only 3 games under 500, which is, solid. And one thing I did do today, which I haven't done at all, is I actually downloaded like a start today share scenario. If anybody needs to know how to do it, just ask me down in the comment section below. But basically the records are pretty correct. It's not all 100%, I don't think, and I would imagine the stats aren't all correct. I would imagine you really can't create that and you can't fix that, obviously, so stats aren't going to be correct, but the records are correct and we're on the right day. Well, other than obviously they lost to this Knicks team, so let's just go ahead and I guess I'm not really sure why they only have 7. It's probably because I'm in the NBA calendar, but whatever. So obviously they lost this Knicks team. RJ Barrett, game winner. Evan Fournier, 41 points, just not ideal. So obviously they lost, blew a 25-point lead. So basically what we want to do today is try to rebuild the Celtics realistically and try to get them on the right track. So that is what the plan is. So I think the first stop for this rebuild is going to be the trade deadline. So let's get to the trade deadline and let's figure out some things we need to do to start to help this team out, try to put them on the right track in order to get this Celtics team back where they belong. Today's video is brought to you by Prize Picks. Prize Picks is a player props website that allows you bet overs or unders on players, and all you're doing is going up against numbers. Let me show you how it works. So during the Christmas holidays season, while I was taking a little bit of a break, I decided, to play some Prize Picks like I usually do, and I had some pretty good success. Thursday, December 23rd, bet the over on Deebo Samuel's 40.5 receiving yards, absolutely crushed that number. It was so low, and Ryan Tannehill squeezed by with over 3 completions for 19 pass completions. Got myself a huge win there. And then on Christmas Day, the Knicks and the Hawks, I decided to obviously take Prize Picks promo that they were doing, having Julius Randle listed at 0.5 points, and then John Collins barely squeezed by with 20 over 19.5. But hey, that's still a win. Almost still counts. And then also on Christmas Day, LeBron James also was listed as a promo, only over half a point, and of course he crushed it with 39. And I went over on Kyler Murray's rushing yards because I thought it was super low, and he decided to obviously get 69. If you would like to join in on this fun, the link's in the description. Use promo code Crushables when you sign up. So we are stopped at the trade deadline. Currently the 10th seed in the East, not the 17th seed. That makes no sense. So the 10th seed in the East. Obviously I wanted to stop here to make some moves. So I want to talk about some things maybe the Celtics can do for a second. Now, there's one thing that immediately comes to mind that I think could be a move that would be interesting, and it may be a risky one to do, but it is one I feel like they could make if they wanted to. There is a guy, in Houston, obviously, that really hasn't played for them and, has a desire to play basketball again, and I think he could make an impact on the right situation, and that is John Wall. You could go for John Wall. He's going to be available. He's got a 1-year +1 player option. So you could, go after John Wall. Obviously, his contract is massive, but you have Al Horford's big money if you wanted to try to trade him for John Wall. If you wanted to go that route anyway, that might be a riskier one, but it could be an interesting one to pair Jason Tatum and John Wall and Jaylen Brown all up. You wouldn't have to trade Jaylen Brown, and John Wall would at least be, a guy that you could bring in and who probably would immediately help. Obviously, other scenarios, if you're trying to get other players, you might have to trade Jaylen Brown, which I assume the Celtics don't want to split Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown up. I don't think that's the answer to this. I mean, they're both 23, 25. There's no reason to split them up. They're your 2 best players. I don't think there's any reason to split these 2 guys up. There's still plenty of time to see what they can do. Obviously, you've seen the Blazers, rule it out with Dame and CJ for years on years. So I don't see a reason to split these 2 up. So I do like the idea of maybe getting John Wall here. So I'm going to try for it. Let me know what you guys personally think of what the Celtics should be trying to do. I do like the idea of doing this though, just because I feel like it would, bring help to the team. It'd bring a legitimate point guard. Obviously they have Dennis Schroeder. They have guys like Marcus Smart and stuff like that. So the only reason you do this, though, is obviously, like I said, you're trying to salvage the season, trying to compete. You have Al Horford's big money, who I understand has been pretty good for Boston. But he is 35, and you could get something out of him before you just, don't get anything out of him at all. So Al Horford for John Wall straight up obviously is not going to get it done. You have some other, contracts you could probably throw in here. I don't think you'd want to throw in Marcus Smart. And I don't think Houston would be interested in Marcus Smart anyway. So it'd probably have to be like Josh Richardson in this trade. And then you can probably try to see if you can get like a cheaper player just as a salary filler. It's like DJ Augustine. That obviously would be too much money for us to take. Maybe there's an ideal where, Armani Brooks is the cheapest guy they have. Garrison Matthews, Alperen Şengün. Obviously, they're not going to. So a lot of these guys are a little bit out of our price range. Daniel Tice, Christopher. I don't think they'd want to trade, obviously, any of those guys. So I guess the best option would be Armani Brooks. And then I think maybe you trade a pick or two, because obviously Houston has no reason to do this, because why the hell would they just want Al Horford and Josh Richardson? That doesn't really help them. So maybe they get like a pick for John Wall, a heavily protected future first or something like that, like a heavily lottery protected, or just something along the lines of that. Something like that. I don't know. Maybe even a later on down the line, Houston gets something for John Wall. I'd love to have it protected, though, if possible. I cannot protect 2025. So I guess 2024 is going to be the best we can do. So a lot of protected first round pick. Al Horford, Josh Richardson, a heavily protected pick for John Wall could be, a guy that could help Boston. Now, let me know what you guys think of this trade. Personally, I think it's a riskier move, but I think it's, one that could be interesting. I think it's going to make this rebuild a little bit more interesting than just not doing anything at all. So let's even see if Houston would be interested in this. Wow, I guess I need to turn off trade override. Not even sure why that's on. So they declined it. I'm not even sure why trade override is on, to be honest. Financial trade rules on. Okay. Remember, I downloaded this file, so can't really remember. That all looks good to me. Okay, well, let's try this again. So as we know, they initially declined this trade, so I guess you'd have to throw even more in here for Houston to be interested. We could throw in a second. They don't agree. If it's just going to be too much in order to get us John Wall, then I guess we just don't do it. But I thought it was worth a shot. I don't think you trade more than one first, though. Okay, so we traded 3 seconds. I'd like to only just give up the first, but you guys know how 2K is. So just like that, the Rockets have agreed. We get rid of Al Horford. We bring in John Wall to be our point guard now. So I think that definitely makes for an interesting lineup. We have, obviously, well, we don't want John Wall coming off the bench. We'd rather have Dennis Schroeder be that 6th man. Unless if the Celtics were to trade Dennis Schroeder, which that's also a very big possibility. That is a rumor out there that Dennis Schroeder is something, or it was a rumor a while back anyway, that the Celtics could try to get something for him rather than just seeing him walk in the offseason. They can't re-sign him anyway. So it would make sense, but at the same time, I think it would be also great to keep Dennis Schroeder for a playoff push. Kind of just depends what, the Celtics want to do. So what I wanted to do here was make sure he didn't start. I wanted John Wall to be the starter. So John Wall will be the starter, obviously, now that we brought him. And so what do you guys think? Would John Wall be a good pickup for the Celtics? Personally, I think it very well could be. I also don't want Enes Freedom starting over Robert Williams. That doesn't make any sense to me. So yeah, this is the rotation we're going to be running this year. Joe Johnson, Armani Brooks, Marcus Smart, Enes Freedom, Dennis Schroeder, Robert Williams, Grant Williams, Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, and now John Wall is here in Boston. I also would like to get John Wall some more minutes because that just doesn't feel like enough minutes for John Wall. So yeah, I feel like he would bring an impact. Now, how much of an impact, and is he still going to be a solid player? Obviously, the injuries are a concern, but I think it's worth a shot. If Boston wants to try to do something, I think it's worth a shot. I think we've talked plenty enough about this first season and bringing in John Wall. Let's just go ahead and see what the results are here for the rest of the season here in 2K. So for this first season, we only end up as the 10th seed in the play-in. So I guess at least we are in the play-in. That's kind of where we were. But at one point, we were like the 8th seed, fighting for that 7th seed. Still would have been in the play-in no matter what. But MVP is going to be going to Giannis Antetokounmpo. Cade Cunningham is going to win Rookie of the Year. Drummond's going to win your 6th man, Giannis Defensive Player. Garland's going to be your most improved, and Quinn Snyder is your Coach of the Year, and Brandon Harrison is your executive. So here's your NBA first team with James, LaMelo, Giannis, Jimmy, Jokic. Here's your All-NBA second team, Russell Westbrook, DeJounte, Sabonis, George, and Embiid. And here's your All-NBA third team, All-Defense first team, All-Defensive second team. So we are in the play-in, like I said. So let's go ahead and see if we can find a way to actually get into the playoffs. We are going to play in the Washington Wizards. Now, one thing that also could be interesting, John Wall came in here and averaged 20 and 7. So like I said, immediate impact, which is what you'd kind of need. So it's going to be Bradley Beal versus John Wall here. Obviously, there's also kind of the thing where the Celtics could have a shot at getting Bradley Beal eventually, which that could be another thing. But And 2K, that would have been really hard to execute without, trade override, which I'm not going to do today, obviously. So let's just go ahead and see if we can beat the Wizards to get a chance of getting in the playoffs. So we are going to beat the Washington Wizards. Bradley Beal had 27, but it wasn't enough as Jason Tatum, Robert Williams at 21, Schroeder with 20, Jaylen Brown with 18, Aaron Brooks, and then John Wall 3 and 8. So it wasn't that effective this game. Shot 8 times, but was 1 of 8 from the field. So not ideal. Did definitely not have the game he probably would have wanted to against his former Wizards team, but that's okay. And now we get to play the Miami Heat. So playing the Miami Heat, Lowry, Oladipo, Butler, Tucker, Bam, Harrow. I mean, this matchup's going to be tough on us, but you never really know. So many through game, and we are going to lose. So unfortunately, we do not get into the playoffs, which is a very, very bad look for us. But you know what? It's fine. We have a whole nother offseason to try to adjust and see what went wrong. So we got the Pelicans going on to win the championship. So even in a start today file, the Pelicans find a way to get into the playoffs and win the championship. That is just fantastic. Okay, Zion is your finals MVP. Nerf the Pelicans, 2K, please. So the first step to obviously retooling the Celtics is going to be the draft lottery now that we are a lottery team, which is probably going to be good for us. Now, I also need to I need to see what draft class we have loaded in because I actually have no idea. So the 12th pick is what we're projected to get. Any shot, Adam Silver wants to like throw us a little bit of a rig in there and be like, you know what, throw the Celtics in the top 4. Let's go ahead and see. I mean, we're pick number 12. What are the odds that we jump up to number 4 or something like that? That'd be kind of wild, right? So the Wizards get 13. So if it does not go to us, we're in the top 4. And we get we get the 12th pick. Damn, I was about to say if we jump into the top 4, that's gonna be awesome. But unfortunately, no top 4 us. Kings, Pacers, Trailblazers. Which I mean, Blazers, man, it's so weird seeing them as a lottery team. But it is what it is. Okay, I need to make sure we have a draft class loaded in. It looks like we do. I don't really know which one he has loaded in. I'm gonna use the one I usually use because I feel like it's the best one. It's usually uses this one right here. So it seems to have everything correctly like I want it. So yeah, I like this one the best. All right, staff signing. I don't think they'd fire Ime Udoka this early, but I guess you never really know. Let's go to Wing Whisper and just fill this staff out as best as possible. So as long as we grab a few guys here, I think that'll all be good. So we grab and then boom. So that should all be taken care of. So we're gonna go straight to the draft. So on draft night, I guess we didn't get everybody, or are we looking at the wrong? No, we didn't get a perimeter D coach. Okay. You only have enough. Oh, you must have an assistant GM. Huh? I don't know what that means. Oh man, is it gonna be doing this damn thing? Hold on. I gotta fix something real quick. I think I need to get an assistant GM in order to fix this, I believe. That way I don't know. I think it's like if you don't have an assistant GM, then you can't like fix your rotation. It's kind of weird. So I guess I'll just go to the draft. So on draft night, let's go to our 12th pick. So I think we only have number 12, I believe. So yeah, only the 12th pick in the draft. Marcus Smart is an interesting player that I feel like, the Celtics have held on to for quite some time. They could trade him, which is a very big possibility, but I'm not looking to do that right now on draft night or anything. So we're just going to go to number 12 and try to draft the best impact player possible. So at number 12, draft summary so far, Jabari went number 1, Chet Holmgren went number 2, JD Davison, John Nee Davis, Benedict Mathurin, Polo, Jalen Duran, AJ Griffin. Okay, so I don't know who we're going to have on the board. So we have Keegan Murray, we have Dyson Daniels, we have Ty Washington, we have Jaden Hardy, Kenny Chandler. Okay, so we could draft a guard potentially to take over for John Wall once we move on. Jaden Hardy, Kendall Brown, Marjon Beauchamp. Okay, I think I want to go for Ty Washington or Kenny Chandler. I think that's the route I want to go. So I think I'm going to go for Ty Washington as our backup player, 23 and 9. I think he could learn behind John Wall. Obviously, Dyson Daniels wouldn't be too bad either. Jaden Hardy I've drafted quite a bit, so I'm going to go with, I guess Kenny Chandler is my other option. So 40%. I'm gonna take the 6'3 guard, Ty Washington here, and hope that was a good selection. So John Wall is not gonna be the long-term solution. So at number 12, we got a 75 overall. Point guard, was that the right selection? Jaden Hardy was number 75. Everyone was like 75. I guess Keegan Murray was a 77 overall small forward, which would have been great. But we have Jaylen Brown and Tatum, so we'll have that. John Wall, of course, is going to accept his player option. No reason not to. Romeo Langford, I'm actually going to accept that $5 million just because I think that would probably, do us good and some trades that we can maybe find out here. So for free agency, what can we bring in? I don't think there's any crazy free agents. Bruno Fernando is the only one. And then we don't really have a ton. I mean, we could throw some money at Edmund Summer or Gary Payton, or we could get Hassan Whiteside or anything like that. Or Xavier Tillman for some reason is out here as well. Dwayne Dedman. Okay, so let's go ahead and take a look at our team right now. So John Wall, Marcus Smart. What I want to do is I think I want to move Marcus Smart to shooting guard. He's going to go up. So we'll have Marcus Smart be our backup shooting guard. We also have Ty Washington to back up John Wall this year. Jaylen Brown, Marcus Smart looks good to me. Jason Tatum, then Grant Williams, and then Robert Williams. So, okay. For the most part, this looks all decently fine for me. But I think there is the ability to try to make this team better. I think it should be in our best interest to bring in something here. So we do have some money that we could trade away. We need a backup center as well. So Whiteside doesn't look like a terrible option to have as a guy that could be a body for us. So kind of like the idea of that. Serge Ibaka, guys like that or anything like that could be pretty good for us. But I'm going to go for Hassan Whiteside on a 2-year deal. Maybe a 1+1 kind of thing. So we can go for Hassan Whiteside to be our backup big man. I don't hate that. So Whiteside could be a bench player for us. Okay. So we'll have that. And I think the next thing I want to do is I want to take advantage of Romeo Langford $5 million. He's 22 years old. I think he could probably find an opportunity somewhere else. So I do want to take advantage of that money and maybe somebody else to try to bring in maybe another impact player in this rotation. I like what we have for the most part. Marcus Smart's still an interesting one to me as well. He does have $17 million attached to his name. So we could potentially trade him away if we really wanted to and try to get something for him. But obviously it would have to be the right team that would want a guy like Marcus Smart. Immediately that came to mind, a guy that would, that would be great for the Celtics would be a guy like Jeremy Grant. But obviously, why would the Pistons want Marcus Smart's large contract? I don't think they'd want to. So I wish 3-team trades were easier in this game, but they're not. So I'm going to try to think it over. I want to make one more trade for sure this offseason to either bring in like a starter or just a solid rotational player at the very least. So that's what I'm going to try to do before we go into season number 2. So I'm looking to make a little bit of a minor move if we go into season number 2, and I have Romeo Langford and Bruno Fernando here. So basically what I'm thinking is we could bring in a guy like Alec Burks, or the other one I'm looking at is getting Garrison Matthews, just a rotational piece. Romeo Langford obviously is a guy that I don't think the Celtics are going to be re-signing anyway. So we'll have Bruno Fernando and then Garrison Matthews. So we could do that, or we could do the Alec Burks one, who's a little bit more of a veteran that would help out immediately, or we could go the younger route and get Garrison Matthews, who's 25. So I'm more leaning towards the Rockets because they could bring in a couple of young guys and we get a rotational piece. So I'm gonna go ahead and do the Garrison Matthews deal, and we'll have that going for us. So now basically this is what we're going with. So John Wall, Ty Washington, Jaylen Brown, Marcus Smart. We have Garrison Matthews and Tatum, Grant Williams, and then Whiteside and Robert Williams. So that's basically going to be our team going into season number 2. So we're basically just going to hope for the best. Pretty much going to be relying on guys' development. Ty Washington, hopefully he develops really well. I know Tatum's going to develop great. John Wall, of course, is going to go down in overall. He's down to an 81. We kind of knew, but this was like a little bit of a 2-year rental. If it doesn't work out, it's fine. We still have time to, do something else. So I think it was worth it. We'll see what happens here in season number 2. Obviously, a full season with John Wall on the roster. We're going to hope and, pray for the best that it ends up working pretty well and we actually get to the playoffs. So season number 2, I think, went a lot better for us. 3rd seed in the East. MVP is going to Nikola Jokic. Holmgren wins Rookie of the Year. Naz Reid's your 6th-man Giannis Offensive Player. Amanda Quickly Most Improved. And Nate McMillan's your Coach of the Year, as Tyler Jameson is your Executive. So here's your All-NBA first team. Jason Tatum ends up making an All-NBA first team. We know he's really good in 2K, so I'm not too surprised by seeing this. All-NBA second team. We have Bradley Beal, Garland, Zion, Jimmy Butler, and Joel Embiid. And here's our All-NBA third team: Russell Westbrook, Brogdon, LeBron, Doncic, and Bam Adebayo. Here's offense first team. As Marcus Smart still making an offensive team, so probably is a good thing we kept him. I did really think about, I really did consider trading him, but I'm glad we kept him around. And here's an offensive second team, and then all rookie teams if you're interested. Ty Washington actually got on the All-NBA all rookie second team, which is great. So he actually made an impact on the rotation. It's good to see our draft pick ended up working out pretty well. So we are the 3rd seed in the East, going up against a talented young Charlotte Hornets team. Looking at the player stats: 30 from Tatum, 21 from Jaylen Brown, 19 from John Wall, 13 from Ty Washington, 8 from Whiteside, 8 from Robert Williams, 7 from Grant Williams, 6.5 from Marcus Smart, and 6 from Garrison Matthews. I guess Ersan Silva found a way to get in the rotation as well. So solid all the way around. Obviously, it's great that John Wall has made a little bit of an impact, and I'm happy. Resigning him is definitely going to be something that's going to be a tough decision to make. But John Wall, Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum, all the Jays did their thing. Washington was great off the bench for us, it looks like. So we could just roll with him. and let John Wall walk or whatever we want to do. We'll see. And then Whiteside and, of course, Robert Williams. All right. So here we go. We're going up against Charlotte Hornets, LaMelo Ball, James Bouknight, Gordon Hayward, Miles Bridges, PJ Washington, Rozier, Kelly Oubre, Tyus Jones, and Cody Martin. So basically the Charlotte Hornets team that we all love and know. Okay. Well, similar to the play-in. So now we get a game-by-game scenario here with the Charlotte Hornets going up against LaMelo and Miles Bridges. So game one, we're down 1-0. So game one wasn't off to a good start. Jason Tatum did his thing, 24-10, but we lost by 3 as PJ Washington had a really good game. Okay, let's see if we can even it up in game 2, as we do. So just like that, we even up the series. Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum did their thing. John Wall had a great game as well. We blew them out. So they did steal game 1 from us, but we blew them out in game 2, so that's good. Let's see if we can take advantage and steal a game on their home court as we're up 2-1. So we did win on their home floor as well. 25-7-7, 38 from Jason Tatum. So Jason Tatum just inspirational. Game 3, we're up 3-1, or that was game 4, I apologize, and we ended up beating them. Miles Bridges 26-13, but Jason Tatum had a 47-point game, absolute W. Tatum, as we all know, in 2K in the playoffs is just a different animal. So let's see if we can beat the Hornets here in 5 games, and we are gonna, beat them in 5. Now we get the Philadelphia 76ers most likely, and as we know, Philadelphia, Boston have been known to face each other in the playoffs. Usually, Boston comes out on top, but I think in this scenario, it's pretty easy that we could lose here. When is Ben Simmons going to get traded, by the way? I mean, I feel like we've been saying that forever, but John Wall, Jaylen Brown, Tatum, Grant Williams, Robert Williams, Smart, going up against, obviously, Simmons, Maxey, Thibault, Harris, Embiid, Furkan, Korkmaz, Tristan Thompson, and Seth Curry. So, here we go. All or nothing. Game 1, we're down 1-0 to start things off. 32-10 from Embiid, 33-7 from Jason Tatum. I really don't think we have anyone to stop Embiid. We could throw Whiteside on him, but I don't know, man. I don't think Robert Williams could really, I don't know. We'll see. I mean, is there really anyone that could stop Embiid? I guess other than Al Horford, who we traded away, or who not could stop him, but get him trouble. All right, game 2, we even it up. So we're not done yet. Tatum, 28-8. Garrison Matthews, the guy we traded for, rotational Pete, had himself the game 2 of his career, which we needed, it looks like. So 134-111. Game 3, we're up 2-1. So looking good. 29-8, 26-6-8. All right, game 4, we're up 3-1. Are we gonna beat them in 5? Nope, it's not over yet. Box score wise, 28-10, 27. Is this going to a game 7 or are we going to beat them in 6? Let's see. And we are in the Eastern Conference Finals. So just like that, after 1 year removed from the Eastern Conference Finals, we are going, or not 1 year removed, after 1 year of not making the playoffs, we end up getting into the Eastern Conference Finals. So Garland, Okoro, Osman, Mobley, Allen. As we know, the Cavaliers are a really good team, surprisingly, which is great. You love to see Cleveland succeeding even without LeBron James. So Minnesota and New Orleans on the other side of the bracket, but of course we're focused on Cleveland. So last time Cleveland and Boston played in the Eastern Conference Finals, I believe Isaiah Thomas was on the Celtics and LeBron obviously was playing for the Cavaliers. So this is a little bit of a different scene. Game 1, we're up 1-0 to start things off. We have home court advantage as well, which definitely works out in our favor. John Wall, 42-point game, which is something we could have needed here. So it is great to see John Wall's explosiveness coming to fruition here. Explosiveness coming to fruition for us. So game 2, to even it up. So obviously not over yet. Cleveland's still a really good team in this game, so anything can happen. See if we can win game 3 though. Game 3, we're down 2-1. Not a good look. It's going to be pretty tough, I think, to go down 3-1 to Cleveland. I know how good they can be in this game. So hopefully we find a way to even the series up. If we're down 3-1, I don't see us coming back from 3-1. It's not looking good for us to do that. And I think, barring a comeback, we try to make it close. But I think we're going to lose in 5. And yeah, so just like that, Cleveland does best us here. We got Minnesota and Cleveland's going to go on to win the championship. So if nothing else, we got to the Eastern Conference Finals. I do want to go one more season here. One more season. I mean, based off what we saw from John Wall, realistically speaking, I think you'd re-sign him, depending on the price point. If the price is too high, you don't do it. But if the price is fine, I think you go for it, and I think you re-sign him. So staff, we're going to keep that, keep this all the same. I guess we have a little bit of money to grab a perimeter defensive coach, which probably, no, we do not. Never mind. So I'm assuming we are missing something. We need a CFO, it looks like. So let's just grab a CFO, and that should be good. I think now we can sign. No, it says I have no money now. So, okay. You only have enough space. I don't know, man. All right, let's go to the draft night because we did have a late pick in the draft. So let's go ahead and see if we can grab anything here at number 24. So Eastern Conference Finals appearance has to, obviously put this team in a better position than we were earlier. So we're happy about that. But now it's how do we get back there? So we come out of the draft with Matt Cleveland and also Nathan. So that's, two solid young pieces to the puzzle later on. Garrison Matthews, I'm going to accept because he had a really good game in the playoffs. Marty Brooks, I'm going to accept as well. I think Hassan Whiteside, I'm going to decline. So qualifying offers, Grant Williams, I think is a pretty important free agent for us. And then free agency, I don't think there's John Wall. So this was the interesting topic at hand. So I don't think we really have the money to do anything else. So I think letting John Wall walk would just be not good for us. So yeah, I think you do resign John Wall. I only think it makes sense. So I'm gonna go ahead and give John Wall. He is 32 years old. So I think a 3-year, $22 million is more than fair. I think you get John Wall here, who had a 42-point game for you in the playoffs, is more than fair. I think that's a great addition or a great contract to bring him back. Grant Williams, I'm also going to resign to secure him. Now looking at the rotation, Ty Washington will be better, obviously. And then with John Wall and Peyton Pritchard, we have Marcus Smart still, Jaylen Brown, Garrison Matthews, Aaron Naismith developing, Grant Williams, and then Robert Williams. So really, we're only missing a front court player. So we could re-sign Hassan Whiteside, obviously, again, after releasing him. But you have Alan Randolph from the G League. I usually don't have G League on, but at least the G League players aren't like in 99 overall like they were when this game first came out. You have Trey Lyles, you have Derek Jones Jr., you have Georges Niang, guys like that. That could be interesting. So I think I'll just give like Georges Niang a 1-year deal at the backup power forward position. Never mind. He's going to go to the team that beat us. He's like, nah, I'm good. Kelly Olynyk, also, a former Celtic, could be interesting. JaVale McGee sounds also like an interesting piece of the puzzle, but I know he's going to go down overall. You could give a G League player a chance if you really wanted to. Is there anyone else that maybe makes sense here? DeMarcus Cousins. Let's sign Kelly Olynyk. Why not? A former Celtic coming back. Why the hell not? That probably is going to lead to him going down in overall, though, I imagine. But player progression is going to look like this. So John Wall is an 81. Kelly Olynyk went down 2 overall, so still a decent backup center. But I think we have our team going into season number 3. So this next season, no matter what, will be the last one. But I think for the most part, we did a decent job. The Celtics need to do something. So I think John Wall was an interesting aspect, and I think it could be a good one for them. But it may not be the right move. It may not be the right move. This is just me playing a video game, obviously, talking about maybe something that could be interesting to happen. Will it happen? Most likely it won't. But if it does, remember me because I'm a genius. But other than that, because sometimes I have predicted trades. Sometimes I have. I predicted the Jonas Valanciunas trade back in the day when he got traded to Memphis. It was like Marcus Gasol for Jonas Valanciunas. I did it like the exact trade. So sometimes I have done things like that before. But again, just me playing. We got 4.5 star proficiency. We're going to simulate season number 3. Let's even get back to these conference finals. If not, I think we did a decent job overall no matter what. So yet another solid year out of the Boston Celtics. Ended up being the 3rd seed in the East this year, going up against the Indiana Pacers. So 31 from Tatum, 19 from Jaylen Brown, 18 from Ty Washington, and 17 from John Wall. So Washington looks like he's developing very well for this team, so that's great to see. I think once his rookie contract comes up, John Wall's contract will be gone as well. So obviously for the future, if something like this were to happen, you could just let John Wall go and then fully max out on Ty Washington, hoping he can become that player you want him to. Or you could eventually just trade John Wall in the last year of his contract and let Ty Washington, show what he can do. But whatever the decision is, obviously we're not going that far into this video, but it would be an interesting one. So we are playing the Indiana Pacers. Brogdon, LeVert, Livingston, Sabonis, Holmgren, Keldon Johnson, and Miles Turner, Chris Duarte, Claxton. So we've already made it to the Eastern Conference Finals in this video. So let me move my head for a second. And, no matter what happens. So let's just submit current round, and we are going to beat them in 5. Okay, so we got past the first round, and now we get the team that beat us last year in the Eastern Conference Finals. So Cleveland, hopefully we can actually beat them this time. Submit current round. They are the 7th seed, and we are going to beat them in 6. We are back to the Eastern Conference Finals. We came back to the Eastern Conference Finals once again. Fred VanVleet, Delano Banton, Kendall Brown, Barnes, Siakam, Anunoby, Dinwiddie, Achua, and Kim Birch. Now, can this team actually... We had home court advantage last time. Can we make it to the finals? Somebody current round, and we are going to lose in 7 games. Very, very heartbreaking as we have the Minnesota Timberwolves going on to win the championship. But for the most part, we did, I think, oh my goodness, man. I should have simcasted that game 7. 130 to 128. That sucks. But you know what? I was just going to, rely on 2K to get me in there. I thought we'd actually win, but nope. Toronto was just too good. Minnesota goes on to win it all. So let me know what you guys think the Celtics should actually do in real life. Let me know what you guys think their problem is and how they should go about it. I think John Wall would be an interesting dynamic to bring in. Is it the correct answer? I'm not saying it is, but I think it could be an interesting one to do. But thank you guys for watching. Realistic rebuilds are where I have the most fun talking about basketball and just like playing out real life scenarios. So hope you guys enjoyed this video. Leave it like you did. But for now, this is Crushables. I'm saying peace. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you click here to watch another video that I know you'll love.